And we know someone who was probably listening very closely to that.
Yeah, it could be quite helpful if the weather is a little calmer over the next few days. A London doctor who's used to setting himself epic challenges like cycling across America, completing the Ironman triathlon, is now pushing himself to new limits.
Dr. Rob Mitchell is currently attempting 7 Ironman triathlons in 7 consecutive days to raise money for charity. So just to remind you, in case you're not familiar with this, an Ironman triathlon consists of a 2.4 mile swim, a 112-mile bike ride, and then it finishes with a 26.2-mile marathon.
Well, Rob started his challenge on Sunday. As you can see, he joins us now. He's at Tooting Lido. Rob, morning to you. I'm going to ask the first question, why? Why are you doing this?
Yeah, I think a couple of reasons. Obviously, personal challenge, as you've seen from what I've done previously. I enjoy a bit of a challenge, but have two charities which are very close to my heart, and so just trying to raise as much money as possible for those 2 chosen charities.
Tell us about those charities, Rob. Why are they so close to your heart?
Yeah, so the first one's Movember, which I think is a very well-known charity in the UK. I'm quite fortunate, I guess. I'm now 32 years old, and I found that I've been on the cusp between lads now wanting to start to speak about their mental health, and being part of a rugby club, I've really seen the transition between that and had the privilege of helping some lads. So that's my first one. And then the second one is the DMRC Benevolent Fund. I'm from a military family, and so this one helps injured servicemen and women. So something that obviously I've grown up around, and it's something that I'm very keen to support.
And interesting you talk there about mental health, because this challenge, as well as being hugely physical, it's a mental challenge as well. You've got to get yourself through this in your head as well as your body.
Absolutely. I'd say, I think before the challenge, I probably thought it was a 50-50 split. But I think after these first 3 days, it's probably 80% mentality, I think, at the moment, and 20% just sort of keeping the legs going and injury prevention more than anything.
And Rob, I know you had a little bit of a wobble, didn't you, when you were tired the other day after I think you'd had 4 hours sleep. Just tell us about what happened, about that kind of that moment of mental struggle.
Everything just comes crumbling down. All you're thinking about is the next 10 minutes and all the pain you're in and how you're going to get through it. And you do, invariably, but it's trying not to let the mind wander, I think, and trying not to let it start thinking of what's coming next, because I think it can be quite powerful and can get yourself very carried away.
How do you prepare for something like this? Because there are a lot of parallels, aren't there, you know, in how you might get ready mentally, but also physically for it. Because what does the training consist of? And you know, that mental resilience, how do you prepare for something so grueling?
I don't think there's any easy way. There's no training program out there, unfortunately. It's been about trying to repetitively train under fatigue. I've often trained after night shifts and things like that, so that I know that I'm at my absolute limit, and then maybe go and try and do a marathon after a night shift, and just trying to think of all these strange ways that I could maybe emulate what's going to happen this week. But yeah, I'd say I've prepared as best as I possibly could, to be honest.
And the key question, Rob, is what have you had for breakfast? Because that's what we've been talking about this morning. How on earth do you fuel yourself to keep going?
Porridge.
Hey, we knew.
Yeah.
I also read, though, there was a lot of sugar involved.
Yeah, it's often these bars that I have. I know about 400 or 500 calories in one go, and trying to stomach one of those at sort of just before 5 in the morning is a bit tricky, but it's absolutely needed. You can't be going on an empty stomach. But yeah, porridge is the key, I'd say.
OK, what about another key? Do you listen to music, perhaps, while you're running?
So I have been, but I find that your mind probably wanders a little bit if you let the music play for too long. So I actually start listening to podcasts. I've been listening to that Peter Crouch podcast quite a bit. It sounds strange, but it feels like people are talking to you. And so it keeps you focused, and it makes you feel like you're not there cycling for 7 hours alone. So podcasts have been a real game changer for me.
Good luck. You've got a lot of work ahead, but really good to talk to you this morning. Thank you for taking time out. Dr. Rob Mitchell.
Thanks, Rob.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck to him. Don't tell him how much he's got to do. That's maybe not the
true.
right.
I see.
You're
Well, it
nearly
started
there,
Sunday,
Rob.
so he's
Yeah.
halfway.
He's nearly there.
Yeah, yes, sorry, that's
Yeah.
the answer.